Hello, everyone. Hello, Winghaven members. On behalf of the Winghaven Handicap Committee, we want to say hello and take this time to kind of just give you a rundown of the Handicap Committee, its function, its responsibilities, and its capabilities. And on behalf of all of the committee members, I will introduce myself. I am Chip Georges. I am the chair of the Handicap Committee. And the other members of the committee are shown there on the screen: Brady Westfall, Kim Schoenborn, Lori Granger, Scotty McClellan, Jeff Bond, and Jeff Dirks. If any of you out there are ever interested in serving on this committee, by all means, you are more than welcome. From a communication standpoint, the easiest way to communicate is through our Gmail account, committeehandicap@gmail.com. For any questions, issues, major concerns, problems, whatever it is, other than a simple yes or it's a yes or no question, and you can walk up to one of us and just ask. But as you know, any type of digital trail is good when it comes to conversation for most matters. So, Handicap Committee, you've probably heard of it, you're probably familiar with it, and you've also gotten emails before just letting you know of the Cap Patrol system that the Winghaven Handicap Committee, most other heritage clubs, and about 1,200 other clubs throughout the United States uses to help manage and monitor and implement the required, we'll call it peer review capabilities to keep fair, equitable, fair, just, keep play fair, equitable, and just, so that everybody has a good time playing against each other. That's what we want at these clubs, whether it's competition or for fun. So that's what a handicap committee is for. In fact, the World Handicap System and the RNA and USGA put out kind of a joint little statement that says the purpose is to enhance the enjoyment of the game of golf and to allow as many players as possible to compete or play a casual round or a competitive round with anyone else on a fair and equal basis. That's what we're here for. Is there a policing function of the handicap committee? Yes, there is. Fortunately, we don't have to do it a lot, but the main reason is just to have peer review and make sure everybody is benefiting from a handicap committee and the handicap system by posting properly and also keeping an eye on people's play. So, and answering questions, of course, when it comes to handicapping on how to properly post. I won't go much into actual score posting, but I will always remind you that when you're posting a score, if you post a score after you play, always post in the app or online hole by hole. Always do that. It eliminates issues and mistakes that actually can hurt you if you enter them the wrong way. So enter hole by hole as opposed to front nine, back nine total scores. So the main foundation behind a handicap committee has to be based on peer review. And there's two kind of areas of peer review. One is your peers on the committee that are reviewing scores and postings, et cetera, et cetera. But the other peer review is your buddies that you're playing with, your friends, your pals that you're playing with. That is the other form of peer review. So a certification of the score has to come, through a player, someone authorized by the player. They have to submit their score as soon as possible after completion of the round. Your responsibility and when you should post a score is pretty much right after your round if you can. If you can't do it right then and there, certainly before the day ends, and there's good reason for that. So the other reason that peer review needs to be normally conducted by someone that's playing in the same group, because they have the freshest memory of what was going on. So not just a member of the same club is a requirement, as you see in Rule 4.4, but it's the benefit of having other people that you played with help, in many cases, help you if you forgot to post a score. That's what it's mostly for. That's a benefit as well. So moving right along here, some of you may have received a email that's called a friendly reminder to post. Let me show you the structure. When it comes to Cap Patrol, I want you to think of Cap Patrol as a system of checks and balances. And I can even include in this video a link that kind of gives you a demo of Cap Patrol, or at least shows the function of it. Or you're always welcome to reach out to me for a quick explanation. But it's mainly constantly checking and cross-referencing who played, when they played, did they post, did they play at home, did they play away, was it a competition, how good are they playing away, how good are they playing in competition, how good are they playing just casual play, did they post, have they had any failures to post, were there a lot of non-postable scores, which is not a negative thing. It doesn't hit the credit report per se, but optics can look bad if you're playing a lot. You're playing a lot, but you're always declaring your score unpostable. That can also raise some eyebrows. So normally, if you don't post, 2 days later, you will receive something called a friendly reminder to post. A lot of you have received this. It's just a simple friendly reminder to post. It is what it is. And it just says, hey, you played this day, but you didn't post. Please declare your round as non-postable or enter a score. And you could click on the links right there in the email to post your score if you just simply forgot to enter the number. If you declare the round as non-postable, that's fine because you were practicing, or non-postable rounds are practicing multiple balls off the tee, multiple shots in the fairway, multiple putting, whatever you're doing out there. That's a non-postable round. A scramble is a non-postable round, but probably one of the most important non-postable rounds is you actually played solo. If you played solo, that is a non-postable round. You cannot post that. It has to be witnessed by peers and or other players. So that is important to know. We don't implement it every day, but we do implement randomly something called a peer review email, which is awesome. And what it does is send an email that looks like this to you and the 1, 2, or 3 other players that you played with the day before, to show you and to show them what you posted or what they posted for that scores day. And it shows you the score if they posted or if they did not post. And you can actually go as far as an anonymous dispute if you see a discrepancy there. Now, let's step back for a minute. Let's be realistic here. Most people aren't going to remember exactly what their peers shot yesterday, even when they were playing with them, unless you had the scorecard and kept it, okay, and wanted to cross-reference it. It's mainly to remind people again to post if you see something like they did not post and you know their score was postable. It's really a simple way for those people on that email to call each other and go, hey, you didn't post your score, you know. And it's just another way to watch over your peers that you played with. If when they respond to that email with either it being non-postable or did not play or they posted a score, you, the other members of that group, the next day and the day after, you will get an email showing that that player actually responded to your harassment, if you want to call it. Your razzing. That's the purpose of an email, to show that they did respond to it. So it's another way of keeping an eye on the players. Going to the next step, what Winghaven is going to start implementing, and you will see this if you fail to post, is after those reminders, the handicap committee, along with Cap Patrol, will start emailing out failure to post reminders and tracking the number of failure to post reminders that is given to a single player. And what that means is that person has already ignored potentially 3 emails already and has not posted that score tied to a certain date. And the World Handicap System does have a structure and a flow chart to follow for what to do if someone does this and what to do if someone repetitively does this. Usually failure to post the first time around, listen, we're fair. Maybe an email guy, maybe you changed email addresses, who knows, whatever reason. But think of it, for lack of better terms, just a simple reminder and a warning that, hey, don't let it happen again. However, if it repeatedly happens, the Winghaven Handicap Committee does have full authority to actually add a penalty score to the handicap of that person, a penalty score being the lowest score of the last 20 scores, we can add that another score like that to your handicap. It can also add the score that was not entered. If, for example, it was a very low score and the person was withholding it because he or she didn't want his handicap to go down, if we're able to obtain evidence of that score, not only will that low score, that great score be entered, but a penalty score equivalent to the last lowest 20 rounds will be entered. So you don't want to do that. We're understanding when it comes to this, but we also have to enforce this. And yes, for a 3 or 4 time repeat offender, the policy from the World Handicap System allows the Handicap Committee to actually withdraw a handicap for 30 days or longer. And withdrawing a handicap means you may not be able to play in some events if you want. So that's the purpose of failure to post reminders and tracking going out. Those are all tracked online in Cap Patrol's system and does affect your cap score. So when it comes to handicap adjustments, if that's needed. Rarely are adjustments needed, but when a handicap adjustment is needed, we will adjust any handicaps that are recommended to be adjusted at the beginning of each month, starting with July of 2025, this month. And I want you to understand a couple of things. This adjustment letter is not going to be a short paragraph if you receive one. You are going to receive 3 to 4 pages of data that explain why we're adjusting your handicap, okay? It does not mean, although, as I stated earlier, it does not mean we think, or everybody's going to think you're a cheater or sandbagger. That's a small percentage of handicap adjustments. The main reason for adjustments is because you're playing close to, at, or better than your potential is showing, and you're consistently doing it. That's not a bad thing. But some people look at adjustments like, oh man, I'm going down. This is going to make it tougher. This isn't fair. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it fair. Consistently winning, that goes against statistics is what it does. When you get that adjustment letter, we also want you to understand that we are not some man or woman behind the curtain that you can't get a hold of. There is a process for this that I want you to understand. There is an appeal process. There's a discussion process, okay? If you receive that letter, you'll have 3 days to reach out to us by email, committeehandicap@gmail.com, and just say, hey, can we talk about this? Or I've got some data on my end that I don't understand is different than what you have. Or even if you react harshly, we're still going to hear you out and listen and go, let's hear you out. And then after we will respond. We will discuss it, the handicap committee, with you, and then we will discuss it in private and then determine if the appeal needs to be upheld or redacted within 3 days. And that is decided by a majority vote of the handicap committee. So that is the appeal process. Again, if you are questioning or having issues with this, come to us. Don't stay disgruntled if you're mad or frustrated for some reason you don't understand. We want to explain it to you. But that letter, adjustment letter, trust me, it will have a lot of information in it as to why Cap Patrol is recommending an adjustment of what the letter said, whether it's 1 stroke or 2 strokes or 3 strokes down or whatever. Just like you can have a handicap be adjusted up if you're injured, you can have a handicap adjusted down if you're playing better than what your numbers show. So it goes both ways. That's really pretty much it with the handicap committee. That's the purpose of the handicap committee. We want to educate. We want you to know that we're here to help you out, but also keep play fair and equitable for the true, as it's shown on this page, the enjoyment of the game of golf. So if you have any questions, reach out to us at committeehandicap@gmail.com. On behalf of the handicap committee, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for listening. We're here to help you out, and hope you all enjoy another season of golf. Take care.